matter what I did, diet-wise, exercise-wise, and I started lifting weights, I could not budge my weight. This is not working. I need something.
How was that mindset shift of going, okay, now I'm actually back on track. I've been stuck at 96 for so long and now I'm starting to see some progress.
It was unreal, but it was hard. The first 2 weeks, I literally found the hardest. Now it's habit. I'm not going to say it's been completely easy because it never is. Otherwise,
everyone would look like you.
What for you personally was the hardest part of it all?
the hunger.
Yeah.
If you're hungry and unable to snack, but then you start feeling better, you've got more motivation, libido, confidence, mental clarity, it's worth it.
Just seeing the definition in my body at 42 years old, it was crazy.
How do we calm the pop natty? No holds barred. Yeah, well, we're leaning towards a bit of no holds barred, aren't we? Okay, here we are, episode 12.
Yes, sir.
Coach's Corner, MPT. We're here with MPT Alumni, Coach Eman and Coach Joe. And today we're joined by a special guest, Levi Daw, all the way from Launceston, Tasmania. We're up here on the mainland today, mate. Here to discuss your rebuild success journey. You'd lost 16 kilos?
Yep.
No, 15 kilos
15.
in 16 weeks.
Yes,
And we just got your in-body scan done yesterday.
we did.
What was the results?
6.3% body fat.
6.3% body fat. Amazing. And your starting scan, you were 27%, correct?
Correct.
Amazing. So you've lost 21% body fat, which was 15 kilos for you. Everybody's a bit different, depending on how big you are and how much muscle mass you've got, but that's what you've done in a 16-week time span, which is incredible. So we're going to ask you interrogating questions on how your rebuild went. Levi's informed me that he's a mild introvert, so he's very uncomfortable doing this. And
100%.
and Eman forgot the vodka, so we're just going to work through this fully raw. So let's just start, mate, with a little bit about you, age, what you do for work, family, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. I'm 42, married, 2 kids, twin girls, aged 11.
Fun times.
And I work in corrections down in Tassie, so it's a intense job.
Yeah, and you were telling us earlier that you do 12-hour...
12-hour shifts.
Wow.
Yeah, is that 4 on, 4 off, or is that...
No, it's 13 days a month that I work.
Right,
So
okay.
split shifts.
Yep.
Rotating rosters or?
Yeah, rotating rosters.
Wow.
So you're a busy man.
Yep.
You got a family, you got kids.
I do.
You've clocked over 40.
Yeah.
Got every excuse available on the book, mate. How did you make it happen?
It started probably last year, and I just started walking. I was actually on the Gold Coast when I had my light bulb moment, really,
Yeah.
and I just progressed from there. I changed my eating habits, and I started going to the gym, and I was only just doing cardio.
Mm.
What was the light bulb moment for you?
I watched my father-in-law pass away in hospital. He was 65.
Young.
He was young, and he was fit and healthy all his life. And here I am, 42-year-old overweight male, on the verge of heart attack stats because of how big I was. I was like,
Wow.
at my heaviest, I was 131 kilos.
131 kilos, yeah. At 5'11", 6 foot.
Yep.
Yeah, amazing. So you were telling us in the gym earlier, just in case people haven't seen the gym episode, that
Go watch it, by the way. Like, it's worth it.
nice, yep. That you were 131
Yep.
and you got down to about 96, 97 on your own.
Yes, I did.
Yep. Just through,
Just through changing my eating habits and cardio because I didn't know how to do weights.
yeah. So basically what everybody says on my ads, the trolls, eat less, do more, right? That got you down to
Where I was, 96.
96, which was not bad, but you still had 27% body fat on you and you still looked like this,
Yep.
right? So what was it from there that made you decide, hey, near enough's not actually good enough, which we love, don't we, E-Man? And it's time to, actually fulfill my potential and get in really good shape.
Yep. Well, I couldn't, no matter what I did, diet-wise, exercise-wise, and I started lifting weights, I could not budge my weight.
At 96.
At 96.
Yep.
I couldn't budge my weight. And it's like, I was scrolling through internet as you're doing social medias, saw you guys' pages, and it's like, okay, there's a bit of interest there, but I wasn't sure. So I kept on plugging away. I sat on the sideline for 2 months. 2 months, and then it's like, right, this is not working. I need something. I need something.
What was your initial hesitation, I guess, in terms of pulling the trigger at the start?
Just the unsurety of it.
Yeah.
Like,
in terms of whether we're just another training system or...
yeah, because I've done the challenges before. I
Yeah.
did an 8-week challenge last September. I think I started an 8-week challenge, and yeah, I dropped 11 kilos. But then after that, it's like, now what? It just, I didn't have the tools.
Did you put any of that back on, or...?
No.
Okay.
No, I maintained, but I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I was not happy because I looked at myself and there was always more.
You were just less fat. Let's be honest. You
I
were
was-
just less fat.
I was less fat, yeah.
You were still
I was still fat.
fat though. There you go. You said it. Thank you.
I was still fat.
Looks like you want to ask something.
Yeah, what was that process for you? Maybe sort of, a week before you enroll to maybe then 2 weeks within the system, where you've gone from don't know what I'm going to do to then you enroll into the program, and I imagine first few weeks in the program you start dropping off some body fat.
Yep.
How was that mindset shift of going, okay, now I'm actually back on track. I've been stuck at 96, I think you said it was,
Yeah.
for so long, and now I'm starting to see some progress. What was that first couple of weeks like?
It was unreal, but it was hard. It was like extremely hard because you guys gave me the tools, the structure, the meal plan, and the first 2 weeks I've literally found the hardest. Like eating the same thing consistently. I just by my dinner time I was like steak and veg. It's like fuck again, and like I'd almost start gagging on the green vegetables because it was so bad. It was like, but it's like perseverance, and now it's habit. Everything's habit for me now because I've been doing it for 16 weeks. It's like it's just natural for me to get up in the morning, do everything, make my lunch, meal prep, come home, cook my steak and my vegetables, sit down and eat it while my family eat everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm a happy man.
Yeah. And your situation's quite interesting because you lost 30 on your own.
Yep.
Just over 30 on your own. And then we put you on even less calories because I knew that when I did your cals. So that's why your first 2 weeks was so difficult.
Yeah.
Because during the 30 that you lost on your own, you weren't building calories,
No.
which is what we do. So if you had to come to us at 130, we would have started your cals low and built them up and up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You just starved yourself, lost the 30, still had, what's the maths on that, 16 to go.
Yeah.
So that part of getting your metabolism back into deficit enough to lose a kilo of fat a week was quite difficult.
Yeah.
That's why your calories were and are so low.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I originally signed up and you gave me the Loom video and said, right, this is what we're going to do. Like you said, who do you have in mind? Who do you want to look like? And I said, I want to be Wolverine Lean.
Yeah.
I want to be Wolverine. Like that was my goal. And your Lean video said, right, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And he goes, you said it was going to be extreme. It's going to be hardcore.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Here we are today.
Yep. Here we
Looking
are
Wolverine Lean.
today.
Legit.
Wolverine Lean.
Did it get easier for you beyond that first sort of 2 weeks within the system?
Yes. Yeah, it did. The more I did it, the easier it got for me. And it's like, I'm not going to say it's been completely easy because it never is. Otherwise,
Everyone would look like you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's hard and it takes hard work. Like, my alarm goes off at 10 past 2 in the fucking morning.
What would you say you found most difficult in those first couple of weeks? Like what for you personally was the hardest part of it all?
The food.
That
Hunger?
The hunger.
Yeah.
Because
The
you
hunger.
used to snacking, you said.
Fuck yeah, boredom. I'd sit on the couch and watching TV with the family and it's like you're fucking bored.
Yeah.
You're bored.
Yeah. Because what we get a lot of is guys that are 30 kilos away. I don't eat much. We're like, that's actually impossible, bro. But they don't acknowledge their snacking is
Yeah.
where a lot of people are at.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
You'd open the cupboard there and you got the kids' snacks there. You just sit on the couch, eat another bag
Yeah.
of chips, eat another chocolate.
Yeah. Okay, so it was more the snacking. Was appetite a problem? A little bit.
Yeah, it was. I was hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I've gone from eating whatever I wanted to being restricted.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you also mentioned in the gym earlier that you felt you started to feel really good.
Yes.
And I think sometimes like you know, the juice has to be worth the squeeze, as I keep saying. The results have to be worth the sacrifice. So if you're hungry and unable to snack, but then you start feeling better, you've got more motivation, libido, confidence, mental clarity, it's worth it.
It is.
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. And then discipline kicks in.
Yes.
And then it becomes habit.
Yeah, and discipline's something that you build, isn't it? Like it really is the compound effect that we
Yes.
talk about.
Yep. 100% it is.
Yeah.
And now it's like my alarm goes off, my feet touch the ground, I'm up.
Ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
You don't even think it's subconscious, like brushing your teeth.
Yep.
Yep. Amazing. So today when we were doing the exercises in the mirror, right?
Yep.
Tell me about that experience. Did you ever imagine you'd look like that?
No way.
Mm.
No way. Like seeing my muscle, it's just seeing the definition
Yeah.
in my body at 42 years old, it was crazy.
Mm.
Because I've gone from an obese man to lean.
Mm.
Like, not
Shredded.
just lean, shredded. I was about to say shredded.
Yeah.
I'll say it because I'm fucking proud.
You should be, man.
Yeah, man.
You should
shredded.
be.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
shredded.
Your
Roll,
physique's
roll
in the,
some B-roll. You're shredded.
We've got plenty of B-roll.
but your physique's in the top, easy 5% of men around the world.
One.
What?
Yeah, at that age.
Yeah.
And natural as well. No TRT.
No TR.
Not even a test booster. I haven't even got you on the test booster yet.
Nothing.
Wow.
Mm. Yeah.
Just El Natural.
Incredible. Single digit body fat as a natty, early 40s, 2 kids, and a pretty grueling job as well. You
Yes,
know,
it
you were
is.
telling Joe before that, yeah.
It has its moments.
Yeah, corrections officer in Tasmania.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wouldn't imagine to be walking the park.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It gets physical and it's hard work.
Yeah.
And,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. So what other areas in your life do you think have improved just because you're feeling more energized and more confident in your own skin?
Well, my work life's improved.
Yep.
For a start, because before I'd get puffed out really quickly because I was carrying so much weight, and my home life's improved as well.
Yep.
Like I'm happier in myself. My wife's happier because I'm happy. My kids are happy. They see a role model that they can look up to now instead of someone that's can't kick a footy with them.
Yeah. Amazing. And that's just one of those byproducts, isn't it?
Yes.
That a lot of people don't consider getting in that kind of shape.
No.
I think the exciting part for you now is that we're going to reverse your calories. So obviously we want to try to stay as close to this level of leanness as possible. We call it like a maintenance.
Yep.
So, you know, your calories are quite low. And like I said to you, we'll start back at 1,600
Yep.
and then we'll look to build, you know, week after week after week.
Okay.
So the idea is to get the calories up, you know, close to 2.5, maybe 3,000 if we can muster it.
Get there.
Yeah, you know, you won't be quite this lean, but you'll be kind of close.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where we talk about the, your analogy is really good, where everybody wants to focus from getting to A, where you were,
Yep.
to B, Wolverine Lean, but then no one talks about B to C, which is essentially maintaining that result.
Yep.
The good thing is, though, the maintenance body fat that we get you to, it'll be a 4 to 8 week process to get back to where you are today.
Okay.
So if you've got a holiday coming up or something that you want to do, you know what to do in a couple of months to get absolutely shredded again.
100%.
The important part is that the maintenance is much closer to where you are than where you were.
Yep. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So that's going to be the exciting part.
What does that actually look like in terms of calories or food?
Well, I mean, good question. It's very individualized. We don't have a formula. You add 10% of your total body mass minus your fucking age and your star sign. We don't have that stuff. We respond to how the client's body responds. You know, typically because Levi's been so disciplined. And that's a disclaimer for anybody listening as well. You are not going to look like this if you're going to have a wishy-washy set of standards. And if you're going to think that, one little cheat meal won't matter, to my knowledge, I don't think you went off the plan once.
I did. Actually, I did. I was on holidays for 4 weeks.
Wow.
And I did. I broke it and I paid
Yep.
the price.
Mm.
And that was a wake-up call. That's
Interesting.
like, right.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yep. I went away with my brother, and it was in the middle of nowhere in Tassie, up the Great Lakes, they call it, doing a fishing trip.
Half your luck.
And I was on the piss in the palmies.
Yeah, wow. And what happened on the scale?
In a weekend, I was 1.6 kilos back up.
Back up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said you were gone for 4 weeks, right?
I was on holidays for 4 weeks, but I was up there for just 1 weekend.
Oh, right.
Okay.
One
So
weekend.
the other 4 weeks you were pretty good.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I had something else come up, but I spoke to CJ about that, and we came up with a plan so we could at least keep it 95% compliant with meal plans, because I'm weekend away in Melbourne with my nephew.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he said, a Nando's wrap, Subway, and find a place that does
steaks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, over the 16 weeks, you were 99% adherent, and the weekend that you weren't, you realised why we drum on about adherence, because your progress went from this to let's just take 2 weeks back.
Yep. So you can imagine what going off plan does every weekend. It'll just fuck your metabolism.
Well, when you're at that level, your metabolism's sensitive.
Yeah.
So any level of doing what you were doing has a much greater effect.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how long did it take for you to get back to where you were prior to the trip?
1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 week of going back to compliance.
Yeah. The other thing with you, though, is you've got a lot of muscle. So you're the same height as me, and you've got 77 kilos of lean body mass. You know, I'm 80 kilos of it. So you're not far off.
Yeah.
Your coach that's been doing this for decades. So you're quite a muscular guy. So the more muscular you are, the more leeway you do get with that stuff. You know, the clients we have the most problem with have 60 kilos of muscle, 40 kilos of fat, and they can't understand why they can't have a cheat meal. Yeah. It's because their metabolism is just running backwards. It's running like a 11-year-old girl. Actually, probably slower. Probably more like a 50-year-old woman, actually. Yeah. But back to your question, what does that process look like? It looks like we're increasing his calories week after week. You know, once we get your protein to 3 grams per kilogram of LBM, so you're looking at about 210, 220, that's it for that. So then we start scaling fats, try to get fats up. You typically want to get fats to about 80 grams, roughly, at a higher point. In my experience, fat and carbs don't matter that much, but that's typically where we try to get you, and then as many carbs as we can fit in while he's still maintaining, you know, within a couple of kilos of where he's at.
And to kind of build the image for him, what does that look in terms of lifestyle then? Once we get him to that completely optimized level, what kind of freedom is he going to have?
Well, he gets to intuitively eat. So a big part of our rebuild is helping gentlemen shift their identity, so they don't see themselves as a fat slob that fucking binge eats and snacks like a child. They see themselves as a real man, MPT, whatever you want to call it, just a healthy individual. So by having that identity shift, you don't want to eat like that, which is where I'm at. I intuitively eat. I don't track calories anymore. I just don't want to eat a whole pizza and wash it down with 2 litres of full sugar Coke and have a tub of ice cream. The thought of that just makes me sick. I'll have a bit of that stuff, as you've seen, but predominantly I'm eating high protein, high nutritious meals anyway. But it just gives him more freedom to be able to not have steak, spud lights and veggies every night for dinner, and he can go back to having certain things. But hopefully now, he wants to have high protein meals and then have the nice stuff around it.
Or you could have that potential weekend away, probably in more moderation, where maybe you do have a steak and chips and then you have a couple of beers. There's a high likelihood that you probably don't wake up on Monday 1.3 kilos heavier. Yeah. Because your calories have been increased to a point where you've got a bit of that buffer period at that point in time. And the rate in which you can probably get that weight off if you put it back on has obviously increased as well.
Yeah.
That is a rebuild, in essence.
For sure.
You've given me the tools to be able to do that now.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I have to do to get that weight back off if I ever do it again, but I don't want to.
It's looking like this is addictive.
It is.
When did you realise, I'm not going to say necessarily the program was different, but when did you realise that you were kind of going through a process that was different and there was a whole purpose behind us making sure that you weren't falling off track or that you were staying 100% to the program? Was there at the start of the program you're like, okay, if I follow what these guys tell me to do, there's going to be a bigger reward at the end of it? Or did you kind of realise that throughout the program? Because for some guys I think it takes a while to click, and for some guys I don't know if it does quite click.
I realised throughout the program when I saw the results that this is it. Like, and each week I saw the scales drop. I saw the increments that I was lifting go up, and it's like, it's working, and you just have to trust the process.
Where have I heard that before?
Guilty.
Just can't think of it.
Yeah. When in the process did you start to look at the body and go, holy shit, this is really working. I do have the capacity to get to Wolverine Lean.
When I started to see this start to come out,
The abs,
like, that was, I've never seen my abs ever.
So it was the abs around week
I reckon around week
6, I reckon.
Yeah, they started to form.
Yeah.
And then they just got more defined.
Yeah. Well, this is what you look like week 8, and there's abs there. Yeah. You know, obviously you're a fair bit leaner than that now on week 16, but incredible. All right, we're going to wrap this up anyway. We're going to get you back on the plane off to Launceston. Any final words or anything you would say to somebody that's in their 40s, overweight like you were, who's a bit skeptical, who's been watching my ads for 2 months?
Yep.
What would you say to them, mate?
Don't hesitate and just do it. because it will change your life and change you as a man, and it'll give you back more than you've ever had, literally.
Yeah.
So just don't be scared, because we all sit there and like, you know, I was scared of what's going to happen. Just do it. You won't regret it.
Amazing. Very good. Anything you two want to say?
Well done. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, amazing. Incredible. Like I said, we've had 2 guys, you and another guy, over 40, that have gotten under 10%.
Yeah.
And your scan was a leaner scan on paper that we've seen. Yeah, out of a rebuild client. So incredible stuff, man.
Broken records.
I couldn't do it without you guys, so you got me here. I just did the work. You gave me the tools.
Amazing. Very cool.
Easy. All right, well, stay natty, I guess.
Yeah. In closing, stay natural. This is what you can do natural. Like, you don't need to get on the sauce.
No, for sure.
As we were saying, what's achievable naturally if you do the right stuff is beyond most people's dreams anyway.
Yeah.
Like you openly said, you'd never thought you'd look like this.
No.
You know,
100%.
this is by far the best shape you've been in your life at the oldest you've ever been as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't, like I was saying to you in the car, we don't have to hit 35 and then just crawl in a hole and die and get worse.
No.
You know, we can still make gains all the way up to 50 at least.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And now you're a role model, healthy, happy, confident role model for your twin daughters.
Yep. Hand shredded.
And shredded, yeah. And you can fend off the boyfriends, mate, because the boyfriends are going to start if they haven't already.
No, they haven't started.
They're 11. They'll be starting in the next couple of years.
Jeez.
It's like Bad Boys. Reggie. Who the fuck is Reggie?
Imagine they come in and you got the singlet on and you're looking how you're looking before.
Yeah.
You shake the hand like that, they won't be doing any, anything you wouldn't do.
Just do some curls before you meet them.
Yeah.
Get a pump on.
Yeah. Sure, your partner's happy as well.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
super proud of me
Yeah.
for accomplishing this.
Yeah.
And she was supportive when you came into the system initially.
Yeah, she was. 100% back me.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. We've definitely seen a few clients who maybe don't have that support network from their partner and their family, and it's
It's a nightmare.
getting them over the finish line is almost impossible.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
How do we calm the pop natty? No holds barred. Yeah, well, we're leaning towards a bit of no holds barred, aren't we?